Hello, everyone. I wanted to send you a personal message from me after Saturday's screening performance, screening non-performance. And I'm actually not even in my home, so I just want to give gratitude to Corey McAuliffe, who is actually away right now, and I'm plant sitting for her, and I have the absolute pleasure and luxury of plant sitting for her. So just gratitude to this space. And to you, Corey, if you're listening. So first off, thank you. Thank you, each of you, for coming out to the screening, for those of you who joined in online and those of you who joined in person. It was exactly what I had hoped for, and of course, all the things that surprise you that you don't even know are coming. And so I'm deeply grateful for for your show-upness. Thank you very, very much. Wanted to share with you a little bit about where my work is going and then what I think is happening with OMYGOD Next as a result of the screening. So some of you know I'm becoming an expressive arts therapist. Some of you know I'm already a story coach. All of you know that I'm an artist. And these three worlds are finding their way together. After the feedback that we got, that I got on Saturday night, and it was a resounding, if you can do this live, please do this live. I want to see it live. And what was really interesting for me about that is that I heard it, and I've heard it many times, and I've wondered if I was going to do it live or not. And of course, when I originally wrote Oh My God, it was to do it live. It wasn't to do it as a screening, but because of COVID, it's just what happened, right? And as all things that are unplanned, they have medicines for us, right? They have gifts for us. And the gift for me in that was being able to go, oh, the beauty about film is that it has a life beyond this aliveness. Just like a book. You write a book and it has a life beyond, this aliveness. And so that's a way for the work to carry on and have a life, be way beyond me. So I'm so keeping that. I'm keeping that. And I also absolutely get from all of your response that the medicine and magic that is in this being, a lot of it happens in that interpersonal space or the live space. And at the same time, when you said do this live, I have to admit, I had this thought. It's like, oh my God, you'd have to pay me a lot of money to do this live. You'd have to pay me a lot of money to do this live. I was like, what does that mean? What's that about? Where does that come from? And where it landed for me is this acknowledgement that in the core of my being, I'm not an actor. In the core of my being, I am an artist. And one of the tools is acting. And I was like, because I'm building a life. I'm living a life, not just building it. I'm living a life where how I fill my day, I would do it whether I got paid or not. That's what I believe is true and available for all of us, should we choose it. That we get to show up in this beautiful gift that is our life, doing the thing that's been entrusted to us. And we would do that whether we got paid or not, because it's that delicious for us. I was like, all right. So then I had to blow up the box. I'm like, okay, well, if this piece is wanted in a live way, what does that mean for me? If I was to blow up the box of performance and live, what could that look like? And I don't have the answer to that yet, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, well, that's fun. And I started to see images of some of it seated. Some of it is reading. Some of it might be screened and then opened up in some sort of poetic dialogue between myself and the audience. That's my vein of gold. My vein of gold is being in front of people in an emergent way with the container of some kind of a narrative It's not quite like jazz. When you think about jazz, a jazz line is you have a beginning and you have an end and you don't really know what happens in the middle. If you're a jazz musician, you get where I'm going. It's not quite like that, but it's kind of like that. And so I don't know. I've just put in an application into the Banff Centre for the Arts for a 2-week residency exploring this very thing. And that went out on Monday, whenever the 20th was. 67, it doesn't matter. And so as a result of the experience on Saturday, I was able to kind of get that gong in my belly and the ting in my mind, and then put that application in. So here's what I know for sure. My next piece of art is much like Oh My God is, which means it is art for art's sake. It will be whole and complete as a written piece, because that's what I do. I write. And then it will also be shot like Oh My God was, so that it can live beyond me and I can check my ego at the door and just give it away. Like, give it away. How does this piece want to serve the world? It's super leverageable. It just makes great business sense, and also just great impact sense. Of course I would do that. And then step 3 is what I'm working on now for Oh My God, which is a live version that works to my vein of gold versus a live version where I'm an actor. I want to do the live version, which is a storyteller that leans into her acting and also a facilitator. And once upon a time thought I would be a United Church minister. And so that liminal space that ministry lives in, which is, let's call it good church, knowing that church is all kinds of things to all kinds of people. But at the end of the day, what church is supposed to be, for me, is a sacred place that we gather to connect with our understanding of spirit, of God, of universe, of source, but where that liminal space of connection happens. And that's the work that I do. That's what story work is for me. Story is the bridge between this, banal kind of, I shouldn't say banal, but, human plane and the, cosmic plane. And art gets to do that. And story is that for me. So there's my little catch up for you. Expect a next piece. First, I have to finish my thesis, which, by the way, my thesis also rolls into all of this, which is how is performance itself an expressive arts therapy modality? And how can we take the performative nature out of performance so it's really just a practice? I shouldn't say just. It's really a practice of being seen in your heightened, full embodied state. And that's my work as a stage presence person. I can't even call myself an actor. Storyteller, let's call it that. That feels way more true for me. So there's my little update. And so expect a new piece. Expect Oh My God to be workshopped into something that I would do on stage in front of people. And expect Oh My God, the online version, to have a paywall probably the end of January. Right now, if you've got the link, you've got full access to it. Share it to those you love. All is well. And then paywall will go up on it, I think January 30th, as part of my collection of work that is available for people to purchase to see. So thank you for listening. Thank you for following along with my journey. And thank you for being a part of our collective journey. And we'll see you in the next piece of art. All right. Be well, everybody. Mwah.